Program really encompasses our philosophy of a practice of our caregivers with the patient taking charge of their journey, allowing us to empower you with education and to provide support through the memory and movement team. Robyn and I will be talking to you about all of the components of the program, but first Robyn's going to talk to you about how this program came to life.
The evolution of Take Charge actually dates back to about 8 years ago, before Memory and Movement was even a clinic. And so my personal story is that my grandmother was suffering with vascular dementia, living in Florida, many states away from my family. And we had a complete lack of knowledge of a diagnosis of crises that were occurring. There was no communication from her physicians. Her companion was unaware of how to take safe care of her. And so it was really difficult, and we ran into crisis, had to react, felt extremely disconnected. And by the time we found out what was going on, it was really too far down the line. It was really hard. And so Dr. Edwards and I were getting together and talking about those challenges as he was dreaming about creating a family-focused clinic. And after a visit down there, I just got on the plane and started writing down what needed to be provided to us that we were not getting. And I couldn't imagine that working in medicine, that this particular disease process did not have a different model. It just is not the 15-minute checkup that a lot of things were at the time. I was working in a different specialty, and it's a very different model. And so we knew that there needed to be family support, medical team communication with the patient and family, proactive prevention of crises, education, along an evolving journey. So there was just so much that we could do better. And so kind of jotted down the feeling of take charge, needed to feel like I was taking charge, needed to create some kind of physical binder notebook to get our lives together and help care for somebody during this journey. And so that's really, the impetus, and then having coffee with Dr. Edwards and telling him that kind of vision, and really got put on the back burner as far as a project because we needed to develop a practice. But over years, just talking with our team, with Shelly, with our patients and caregivers, and we have files upon files of things that came up as ideas, and we knew we needed to be able to convey all the education knowledge that we tried to give during educational sessions and during visits in a more cohesive package, so people could feel empowered during this journey when they're not in the office. And so that's really what it came down to. And we were finally lucky enough to be able to create this program over the last year.
So the kind of that transition was, we were fortunate enough to be granted money through the Philip Van Every Foundation, who supports the development of programs and education for the caregivers. And so with that, Robyn and I had the ability to put the time into the program that we knew it would require. And so we first met and talked about, how are we going to develop a program for over 1,000 patients and caregivers that's meaningful to everyone. So our first step was to actually create a survey of our caregivers so that we could get firsthand knowledge of what they would use as far as the program goes. We knew the content because we do the content, every day, and we have a lot of experts in the office, but we didn't know maybe the best way to provide that content to our families and caregivers, patients. So we did a survey, and it was really interesting to find some of the results that we did. One of the things was how tech savvy our caregivers are, which really helped us to design the program using our website, because it's so highly accessible, and our caregivers were already going onto the website. So that was a critical piece that really helped guide us with some of the program development. We also found out what time of day you all would like to have a program, which is why we're doing it at 4:30 in the afternoon and not 6 or 7 o'clock at night. So we found, best time for things. And we also found that a lot of people wanted tangible hand-on tools to use as part of their caregiving journey. So with all of that information at hand, we then convened a caregiver advisory panel. So we had several former and current caregivers actually meet with Robyn and I. Initially, I think we were meeting like every other day, maybe we felt like for them, but we were meeting with them frequently so that we could really get from them, you know, our ideas. Will these work? How will this work? Do we need to shift gears? That kind of thing. They were incredible, and we're so indebted to them for helping us to develop this program.
Just to show you what it looks like when you walk in the office in the next couple of months. If you haven't already received it, this is a physical take charge binder that has sections and contents going through lots of different things that we can show you in the office, but you can also use between visits, which is the main purpose of it. But it also enables you to have an organizational tool to pull in all of the medical information, but also information about who's helping care for your loved one, or any medication issues, instructions you may receive at a doctor's visit, education, things like that. So we'll go through that in a little more detail in a moment. But the binder is a physical tool. We have put the binder documents though on the website, and I'll walk you through that so you can access them even before you come. The other thing that you're going to get in the office is the good old red bring your bottles bag. Bottles of medicine is what this is for. And we can really prevent and intervene very quickly on medication errors that can be made in our system that is not always perfect by getting the bottles into the visit. So please bring your bag. And then hydration, always something that we're reminding you about. So you'll get a handy water bottle for take charge also. Okay, so there we are again. If you hadn't had enough of us after this, you can look at us. So if you're going to the main homepage of Memory and Movement Charlotte, which is mmclt.org at the top, there is the navigation bars across the top, and the green one says Take Charge. That's where we live here. And so under the Take Charge drop-down, you see 4 sections. And the first is really a description of the program, and much of what we're discussing tonight will be on there. The second is an online education library that Shelly is going to teach us about in just a minute. The third is the personalized health binder that I'm going to go through. And then the fourth is where we're going to house our live education program information. So yeah, Boyd, if you would please check out that binder site. I'd like to just go over, the password, right. So to access the binder and portions of the website, it is password protected. It is designated for people who are members of Memory and Movement Charlotte and your loved ones. So you will receive the password when you come into the office, but feel free to send us a chat box email asking for the password, or contacting the office. Any of us would be happy to provide it for you, but it is a service for people who are enrolled in our clinic. So we wanted to make sure that you can get that password quickly and easily. So let us know if you need it. Okay, so Boyd is going to go ahead and log in, and I'd just like to show you how to access the binder documents and point out just a couple so you can get started. Okay, so the binder overview talks about the table of contents and the 4 sections of the binder. There's one specifically on portal instructions, and that the patient portal is a very important communication tool that can allow you to contact our office and your loved one's medical team very easily. It takes just a short enrollment to do it, and we put all the instructions step by step in these documents. And so we can also help you when you come to clinic if you're having some trouble, or you can call us. But that is a way to efficiently and quickly communicate with the medical team. If there's an emergency, we certainly want you to call us if you're going to follow up with a phone call. However, during the day, we can respond to those quite easily, and you're not waiting on voicemails and phone tag to return your messages. So portal is very, very important. The other document that I would love you to pull up, Boyd, is the crisis plan, and goes down, and yep, there it is. So this is a tool. This is just an example of one of the tools that we created out of the needs of our caregivers and our patients. And not infrequently, unfortunately, we would receive a call on a Monday morning with a caregiver that had a medical crisis over the weekend, and the patient needs help. The caregiver has to attend to their own healing and is completely beyond stressed about what is happening to their loved one in their absence. And so trying to navigate that when we haven't taken the time to plan is very stressful and difficult on everybody involved. So we wanted to take a little bit of that stress off the caregiver's plate and allow people to sleep a little better at night, knowing that there was a crisis plan put in place for their loved one. So that's where this form came from. And it goes through everything from identifying information, but also in the immediate aftermath of an emergency, in the minutes and hours following, who could jump in and be support right there. And then in the short term, the next couple of weeks, or even if there was a longer term need, what are the options? And if all of these people are aware of the plan and have contact numbers for each other, this kind of thing doesn't have to happen in the middle of a crisis. And it can really be an effective way to get the patient the care they need seamlessly as possible in a difficult time. So this is just one of the tools that we've created, but we really wanted to provide that one, and that can help a lot of us, whether or not there are any memory or movement problems. It still impacts us if something happens unpredictably. So just wanted to point those two out. And the other portion of the binder is that we want you to bring it to every single appointment. It's going to kind of grow with your loved one over this journey as you get personalized information, and you may have something on the website that Shelly will show you that you want to print out and put in your binder that's tailored just to your loved one's challenges. And therefore it becomes a very personalized and interactive tool. And if somebody else is helping, or one of your children or a friend gives someone a ride to an appointment, sending the binder with them allows everything to be in one place, and we hope it'll be a more seamless version of care.
And so one of the drivers for our program was to allow for all of our collective knowledge and wisdom gained over years of experience with our patients and caregivers to be accessible 24/7. And as I said, the survey had shown us that our people really do use our website, and it's a good place for us to house all this information. So we did create this Take Charge online education library. It currently has over 40 videos and 80 handouts, and our intent is to continue to grow that as we continue to just add things that we know can be helpful to our patients and our caregivers. So we really encourage you to go in and look around on it, because there really is a lot of information there. So Boyd's gonna first go to the main page there. If you can put the password in, Boyd. Thank you. All right, and so this is the homepage for the library. Aging and brain health is the first thing we're going to take a look at. This is just general aging and wellness, how to keep our brains healthy. For an example, I want Boyd, if you could please open the hearing tab there at the very bottom of the left column, thank you. So sometimes when you go to a topic, you may come up with a handout, and just the handout, it'll give you a lot of good information on the topic, and you can feel free to print that and to put it in your binder. You can print it and share it with others, particularly some of the aging and brain health things are good for all of us. So we'd certainly encourage you to look around at that. If you wouldn't mind, Boyd, if you could go back to the the home page for me. And next we're going to go to the memory section. So if you scroll down, you'll see that the memory section is next. Under memory, we do have mild cognitive impairment, and we also have dementia, and both of them have topics for each of those. Sometimes something like caregiver stress, you might find in multiple places, because someone who has a loved one with MCI may be undergoing caregiver stress as much as someone with dementia or a movement disorder. So a lot of times our topics are housed in multiple places, so that our caregivers really only have to go one place to find something, but it's accessible to anyone who has the need. So if you could go under mild cognitive impairment, Boyd. An example I want to show you is under caregiver stress, the role of the caregiver. It's the last one on the bottom there. So in this situation, when you open this tab, you see you go right to the video. And this is a video of Dr. Edwards talking about the stages of caregiving, and also known as Return to Matthews Glen. If you have him as your doctor, you'll hear him refer to that video. So this is one actually that I hope all of you, after we're together tonight, take an opportunity to listen to. It's very, very well done. Boyd, if we could now go to the movement section. So again, we're just going to scroll down and you'll see movement. We're going to go to Parkinson's disease. And from there, we're going to go to the fourth one down, Parkinson's disease treatment overview. And on this example, you'll see that there are two things available, a handout, which says coming soon, but it actually is there, and a video. So you can either print something out and look at it, or you can listen to it, or you can do both. So there are topic areas where we have the opportunity for both a handout and a video. So you may see that when you open the tab. If we can then go back to the home page one more time. We'll scroll down. We're going to go to the index. The index actually has everything that's on the website. So if you know that you're looking for something under caregiver stress, you don't necessarily have to go to memory or aging and brain health. You could actually come to the index, go under caregiver stress, and you'll see all of the options that are there. So that's kind of a quick find thing. Robyn and I had hoped to have a search field, but it's very expensive to put a search field into a website, we found out. So maybe in our next grant, we can get a search function put in. But at the very least, we wanted a quick and easy thing. So for example, again, if it's late at night and something's happening, you could actually go right to the website, find the problem and go right to the video or handout for some assistance. So hopefully you'll find that to be useful. And then the last thing on the website is a section called resources. So if we scroll down one more time, at the very bottom, you'll see resources, and those are resources for both memory problems and for movement problems. So you can go there to find kind of general community resources that are available. One more time to the top there, Boyd, we're going to go to Take Charge and then go to Take Charge Live. That's the last component of our program. So we have the binder, the website that hopefully you'll find very useful, and then we have Take Charge Live. And this is where we house the upcoming sessions that we're going to have for Take Charge. Thank you so much for being part of our first one tonight.